Hi everyone, welcome to another video. This one's going to be on the Resident Evil original PC game that came out in '97. Now, one note for this one, you will need the Japanese version of the game, whether it's the MediaKite version or the VR version. Any other Japanese discs should work with this. Alright, so we're going to launch your browser. We're going to go over to classicrebirth.com. And once you get into there, we're going to go to this section right here, Resident Evil Classic Rebirth. You're going to click on that part. Now this looks a lot more confusing than it is. You only need 2 files from here. There's an optional for a third one, but we're going to need this one here. So you're going to download this file, Classic Rebirth DLL. You're going to download that, put it in your downloads folder. Then we're going to download high quality movies. You're going to download that. I'm going to put that in the same directory. Then when we're done with that one, we're going to go back in here. This one here is optional. You can download it. You don't need it to play, but you can download that one. This mod is basically a harder mod where it takes the ability to store the when you store the equipment in the boxes, in the storage boxes, you have to actually take with you what you need because they won't be in the other boxes. So it's kind of a more difficult version of the game. So you can download that if you wish. Like I said, you do not need it. This patch here you're going to need if you don't have the MediaKite version. What I would do to avoid confusion is just play it safe and go ahead and download it. So you're going to save that to your folder. Now with all those downloaded files, we can go ahead and do just the classic rebirth portion of it, but we're going to get it to look as well as it can. So we're going to download some other things. So once you have those downloaded, make sure those are all in the same folder. Then we're going to head over to this place here. Now all the links are going to be included inside the the YouTube video in the description, so you can get the download links from there. So this will be the second site. So we're going to download the Resident Evil HD mod. We're going to download that, put it in the same location. Once that one's done, we're going to travel over to another website called the Seamless HD Project, and that's basically as good as you can get on the textures. So that's going to be the best looking graphics for the game. So we're going to head over here. We're going to download this one. Once you click on this link, you're going to go down a little bit. Do not click on the patch because that's just for an update from the previous 1.0. So we're going to download the whole thing. So we're going to click on this one here. Download that. Now this one may take a while because this is a big file. So you're going to go ahead and get that download started. Once those all are downloaded, what I recommend is put them in a folder, extract all of them to their folders, unzip the files, and then open up a second window, rename a folder, just call it Biohazard. That way it'll be a lot more easy to get this thing completed, all the files where they need to go. So we'll go ahead and fast forward to those folders. So best case scenario, or the simplest for me, is just to split each window on one side. So if you don't know how to do that, or you don't have Windows 10, it's basically just as easy as clicking here. If not, you could just resize them so you have 2 separate windows. If you drag and drop to the corner on Windows 10, it should populate the window like that, where you'll have 2 separate screens. Alright, so now we're going to go to the folder where you have everything extracted to its folders and the ISO file, or the actual CD if you have that in your CD drive. So if you have everything correctly, it's going to look more or less like this. You're going to have these folders here. Once you have that, either go load your CD or mount the CD image. Once you have that mounted, it's just as simple as going into this folder right here. Make sure you're not copying this folder. You want the one inside there. So take the I guess that's abbreviated Japan. Take that and slide that over to your right side. So that's on the right side window. Once you have that done, you are going to put this file in here, this media kite one. This, like I said, is the patch for it. If you're not sure what version of the Japanese CD you have, it's just a safer bet to put this in here. Another word of warning, try to do it this way versus like if you already have the Resident Evil game installed. Try not to install over it because you may have errors. This is the simplest way to get this done. So once you have that in there, the movie pack, we're going to do the same thing with that. Slide that over. And then the last step of this first group here is going to be doing that. Now once you have that done, you should be able to launch just the classic rebirth portion of it. So we'll verify by just double clicking. You're going to get this message that no config file or register settings were found. So click on OK. Now for this first portion here, you can kind of leave these settings any way you want. What we want to do is just make sure it launches. That launch, so that is good to go. One recommendation I'm going to do on here, I recommend you right click on this file, create a shortcut. Right click on that shortcut, go to properties, go into the target window, and we're going to type in, hit a space bar right there, space config. The reason I'm recommending you do this, if you by any chance disable the settings button on that initial window, you're going to have an issue getting back into the config portion of it. So this shortcut here will automatically launch this if you by any chance uncheck that. That way you can always get into this configuration window. So that is just the classic rebirth portion of it. Now the next file you're going to install is the one you got first. So this one here, once you have that folder extracted, you're going to go inside there. You're going to select all these files. Once again, drag and drop. Just drag it and release it. You're going to replace all the files in that folder. So simple, 1, 2, 3. Once that's done, now we're going to use this one right here. Now this is the last pack. This is the pack that has the very latest updated textures. Now what we can do is once we have this in here, we can verify just to play it safe. We can go in there and make sure that the second step is done. And actually I already made a mistake. So what you're going to do, once you launch it, you're going to go back into here. For this, you're going to want to make sure that this color scheme is set to this right here. If it's not set to that, it will not work correctly. You also want to set the resolution to 1280 by 960. Texture filtering off. And then everything here looks good. So you're going to go ahead and launch it. See that logo on the bottom for that mod. And there you go. As you can see, the HD mod is on there. So we're good to go. So that second step is completed. So like I said, this is pretty straightforward and quick. As long as you follow the instructions and download the files, you should be okay. So now for the third part is the biggest graphic pack here. So you're going to go ahead and go inside that one. You're going to do the same thing as earlier, drag and drop that into the folder. And we'll do a fast forward on this. Alright, once you have all those files finished transferring over, it should look like this part in this window. So once again, just remember the recommendation here. Go ahead and make a shortcut here. Remember, you're going to open up this shortcut. You're going to add this line to the target window. So minus config. So that way, if you go into here and forget to set it, as reboot on the next one, you'll always have access to that config window. So we're going to go ahead and here. Now for this part of it, you want to make sure you're going to at least need it on here for it to work correctly. You can choose this full screen. So what it'll do, you'll have the black border boxes on the sides, but this game was meant to be played in 4:3, so it's not going to go widescreen. And from what I read in the facts, if you do full screen, you might have a little bit of a glitch on the textures. It's just better because it'll at least fill up the whole screen instead of being in window. Or you also have the option, if you can, set your desktop resolution to 1280 by 960, and it'll have the same effect. It'll fill the screen for you. So once that's done, we can go ahead and launch it, and now we can see the improvements on the graphics, which are like way better than the original one. So there we go. Now, since there's a mod attached, you're going to want to click on here once you launch it. So you want to make sure Seamless HD Project is on, and now we'll look at how this looks. So I mean, if you play the original game before, you can tell, even looking at the startup screen, how good this looks compared to the original one. I'm gonna go ahead and just bypass the movie here and show you a minute or two footage of the game. The good thing about this, it did take off the text for the Japanese language. The movies are in English. As you can see, even the start of the movie looks better. So those were also upscaled.
What is this?
Wow, what a mansion!
Captain Wesker, where's Chris?
Stop it! Don't open that door!
But Chris is...
What is it?
Maybe it's Chris. Now, Jill, can you go?
I'm going with you. Chris is our old partner, you know.
Okay, let me handle this. Stay alert!
A dining room. What? What is this?
What is it?
Blood. Jill, see if you can find any other clues. I'll be examining this. Hope this is not Chris's blood.
Barry?
What is it?
Watch out! It's a monster!
Let me take care of this. What is it?
Kenneth was killed too. Maybe by this creature. Anyway, let's report this to Wesker.
Alright guys, so that's the end of another video. Hopefully you guys found this useful. If you do, go ahead and give me a thumbs up or subscribe, and go ahead and enjoy the game. You guys have a great day.